Hi, it's Dion Nicole, also known as the Lady D. So, we're going to break down just a little bit more about forgiveness in part two. I don't want to miss anything that needed to be said. Stay tuned right here. Dion Nicole Inspire. We'll be right back. Now, forgiveness is, in my mind, the clearing of all the pain, emotions that we carry around from an action or situation that has happened to us. Clearing it away, freeing yourself, releasing, in a sense, all of the heaviness that we've carried around from the emotions that the action has caused. That's what I'm trying to say. But let's take it back again. Why is it so hard to forgive? Usually because people feel that they are right. They are right, you are wrong. Therefore, I shouldn't have to forgive you because I wasn't wrong in this situation anyway, right? And then people feel like they didn't deserve that. I didn't deserve what happened to me. I didn't deserve how you treated me. I didn't deserve the manipulation. I was so good to you, right? So, or if it's like identity theft or just something that happens and you know you did not deserve that. So why should I forgive you, right? You lost a lot of money. You lost a lot of time. A lot of your effort. Some respect has been stolen or taken. How dare they? How dare they? So why should I have to forgive you? You disrespected me. You hurt me. You stole from me. You turned my life inside out. Created all this drama in my family. I shouldn't have to forgive you. You're toxic. Keep that in mind. And then a lot of people feel like they don't owe anybody anything. Why should I forgive them? I don't owe them anything. I'm just going to keep on doing my thing. Sometimes you realize that stuff that has happened to you have an effect on you, and sometimes you really don't. You just may do the same thing. Okay, so the reason that the act or the action doesn't matter, when I say that it doesn't matter, the reason that all this stuff that happened doesn't matter is because forgiveness is not for them. The reason that these things does not have to make sense is because the act of forgiveness is not for the person that caused you the harm. The act of forgiveness is not for any of the entities that caused you the pain, the anger, and all of those feelings. Now, there is another video that we would need to do, to really get into the feelings, why we feel the way we feel from an action, the self-love evaluation that needs to be done, a self-love check. But even if you are fully aware that you love yourself quite well, and this was just wrong, and you still want to hold on to these emotions, then I would say we need to look a little deeper and a little further into how do you let that go? How can you let that go? A lot of times we don't feel better because we are seeking revenge. Revenge seekers. Those would be like gang members. The gang members are going to make sure that they get you back. You won't let that happen in these streets, and we don't get you back. So the seeking revenge for a lot of people is how they can get over their emotions, get over the hurt, get over the pain, get over the anger. A lot of people can breathe, okay, after they feel like they've gotten some revenge. I get it. It is a temporary release. Of course, it's a temporary release. It is. And it is also dangerous. It's also dangerous. It's dangerous mentally, emotionally, and sometimes even physically. So, I believe that revenge comes from God if we let it. I believe that God can do more harm to a person than we could ever even think or imagine. And if God is truly on your side and you're moving and shaking, in the Spirit of God, and then He has your back, and you really don't have to worry about having to seek that revenge. So those are some things I really wanted to point out. I told a story about my uncle. My daughter was editing the video, and she cut out some parts that I wanted to say. Mainly, this didn't happen yesterday. This was back in 1985 when I was 13 years old. The story that I told you about my uncle being murdered in solitary confinement. Okay, so I did want to make sure I mentioned that. How can you kill yourself in solitary confinement? You don't have anything. You have nothing. They strip you of everything. So how can you kill yourself there? It was really stupid for them to even say that. But of course, what else could they say when their guards killed my uncle? So that wasn't right. That wasn't right. I was mad at my family because they didn't fight it. At 13, I didn't understand that there was no money for lawyers. This thing was in the paper, on the news, and all that. I didn't understand how much it would take to fight it. I just thought how bad it was that we was not fighting. But, my grandmother passed away a year later after that. Nothing ever happened. No one ever followed up. No one ever found out who the guard was, or either back or went through the story. Nevertheless, I carried around a lot of stuff. And I probably still have a little bit of stuff, which brings me to seeking justice. To feel better about all the things that have happened, it takes a mind change. And it takes a spirit renewal. You have to have a wake-up call. You have to have a wake-up call and an acceptance of who you are and your purpose for being here. And to realize that you do not have complete control of what you do. You do not have complete control of what other people do to you. But you can seek justice. Now, I don't think it's really smart to do a lot of frivolous lawsuits, a lot of stuff that's just caught up in the system just because to feed your emotions, But real justice, like killings and things like that, of course we need to seek justice. Seeking justice is not the same as forgiveness. Forgiveness is releasing that emotion, those emotions that you are tied up with, not letting the person or the entity that did something to you have power over you. By you letting those emotions fester and just stay in there, boiling inside your spirit, then that is allowing that situation to control you. That's what I'm talking about when I say we must forgive. You don't want anything having control of your emotions to the point of toxicity, to the point that that's all you can think of, to the point that you just can't let it go. You have to become aware that this is eating me. This is eating at me. Sometimes people don't know what it is that's eating at them. So we have to do a self-evaluation. We have to do our self-love checks, and we have to see what it is. Have we just not let something go from the past? Have we not forgiven? So forgiveness has nothing to do with the other person, but everything to do with you. And I hope I can explain that. I hope I have explained that to where you can understand. We carry around the anger, and we carry around the pain. Pain, hurt is real. And those things will manifest in your soul, in your spirit, if you do not correct it and get rid of it. That is the power that I am speaking about when I talk about when I talk about the breaking of the chain. That mind change is the beginning of the change, along with the spirit. Your spirit has to be open and aware, and seek God. Seek the Spirit of God to connect with yours. That Spirit from God, let me tell you, if you've never felt it, it is real. And it does connect with your spirit if you seek it. Okay? God brings healing. God brings deliverance, which is freedom. God lifts up your burdens. The Spirit of God does that. The Spirit of God connects to your spirit, and there's a feeling all of a sudden that you've never felt before. That, my friend, is real. In order to feel that, you have to be sincere, and you have to think on it, and you have to ask God for it sincerely. He will meet you. He will meet you. If God knows that you want to empty this pain, years of hurt, trauma, I have to say, I claim, which I shouldn't probably claim, to have the PTSD, because I know there's still trauma. I know I'm still dealing with trauma. That's in the reality form. I know that certain things out here in the world trigger me, and it brings up stuff. It totally does. I name it my own little PTSD. But I don't live in that. I'm not a victim. I don't victimize myself of it. I know that there's consequences from my own actions that I've made mistakes from in the past. I'm living consequences today, still, from my own mistakes. But have I forgiven myself? Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh, yes, I have. I'm not staying caught up in those emotions. That's done with. That's done. We're living in the now. We're living in the present. I've got to use what I've got. You've got to use what you've learned to move on. So, in wrapping this up, please don't think that I was wanting you to feel that you should accept anything that was done, or that it should be so easy to just let it go. I don't think it's so easy to let it go. I think that you have to act like it is. I think that you have to talk like it is. You have to move and shake like it is, because you have to put yourself in a positive energy That positive energy is the only energy that's going to create the change. Staying in the negative energy is not going to create the change. You have to sometimes get out of your comfort zone to get to a better zone. You're over here in comfort zone. God wants to take you to luxury zone. Whoo! Come on. But you don't know that because you're so, I gotta hold on to these things. I'm mad. I didn't deserve that. No. Let it go. Let it go and live free. Let it go and be a new you. Forgiveness does not mean acceptance of what has happened. You still can get justice. Seek justice. Just don't do it with all the anger, emotions, and all of those things that come with it. Do it because it's right. Just do it because it's right. But don't let the anger get the best of you. This has been part two. We are going to do a video about connecting with the spirit. That's going to take some time to break down, and I want to include some other clips and other things to explain. So stay tuned. There's going to be so much more here on Deanna Nicole Inspire. Have a great day.